What if I told you that Tang Dynasty emperors had access to superfoods that cost pennies today, but work better than modern supplements? While we're dropping hundreds at Whole Foods on the latest wellness trends, the Tang Dynasty already cracked the code 1,300 years ago. Scientists are basically playing catch-up to what Chinese emperors knew all along. These 10 foods are straight-up medicine pretending to be groceries. The Tang Dynasty wasn't just fancy poetry and pretty vases. These guys were basically running FDA trials before the FDA existed. From 618 to 907 CE, China was having its moment. Persian traders were rolling up with exotic spices, mixing them with local flavors, and imperial doctors were taking notes like their lives depended on it. Because, honestly, they probably did. In 659 CE, they dropped the world's first government-backed health guide, listing 850 substances. And get this, most of them were just normal foods you could grab at the market. They called it supplementing qi. We call it biohacking. Same energy, different millennium. The crazy part is how they figured this out. No labs, no microscopes, just thousands of people eating stuff and someone keeping track of what happened. When your aunt got over her cold faster after drinking that weird tea, they wrote it down. When soldiers marched further on certain foods, they wrote it down. It was crowdsourced medicine before we had crowds or sources. And now, our million-dollar research labs are confirming what some random Tang bureaucrats scribbled on bamboo. Think about it this way. These people were tracking health outcomes better than your fitness app, and they didn't even have pencils. They used brushes and ink, writing on silk when they felt fancy. Every imperial physician had to document what worked and what didn't. If you gave the emperor's kids something that made them sicker, you weren't getting a bad Yelp review. You were getting executed. That's motivation to get your nutrition science right. Let's kick things off with number 10, mung beans. You know those weird little green things at the Asian market that you walk past because you have no clue what to do with them? Yeah, those. Tang Dynasty street vendors were slinging chilled mung bean soup in summer like it was the original Gatorade. They claimed it cooled your body heat, which sounds like total nonsense until you see the 2024 study where people ate 40 grams of mung beans every day for 6 weeks. Their antioxidant levels shot up 15% and their blood vessels started working better. Turns out these beans have special compounds that basically tell your body to stop making fat. The science gets nerdy, but the peptides suppress something called SREBP1C, while the fiber keeps your blood sugar from spiking after that burrito you definitely shouldn't have eaten. Here's where it gets wild. The exact recipe those Tang street vendors used is what scientists tested. Just boil the beans until the skins crack, add a little rock sugar, and serve it cold. One bowl hits that magic 40-gram mark. Some dude selling soup on a medieval street corner figured out vascular medicine before we invented the stethoscope. Let that sink in. The best part? Mung beans cost like $3 a pound. You can make a week's worth of this soup for less than one overpriced smoothie. The Tang folks would laugh at us spending $20 on wellness shots when the answer is literally beans and water. Hit up any Asian grocery, grab a bag, and you're set. They even sell mung bean popsicles now if you're feeling fancy. I tried making them at home once. Pro tip, add coconut milk because straight mung bean ice cream tastes like frozen health food sadness. Number 9 is Jub's Tears, also called quax seed. Never heard of it? Neither has anyone at your local Kroger. Tang scholars munched on this stuff for breakfast when they felt bloated and sluggish. So basically every Monday through Friday for most of us. It looks like barley's weird cousin, but acts like prescription meds. In 2024, researchers gave people with high cholesterol 1 gram of quax extract every day for 3 months. Their liver enzymes chilled out, triglycerides tanked, and fatty liver scores improved. The magic ingredient, quoxinolide, murders cancer cells in petri dishes, and when cancer patients take it with chemo, they don't feel as nauseous. The Tang breakfast recipe couldn't be simpler. Mix equal parts quax and millet. Cook it into porridge. If you've got a pressure cooker, even better. It softens those tough seeds while keeping all the good stuff intact. 50 grams is your target dose. medieval meal prep that actually makes sense. You can find koeks at Asian markets labeled as Chinese pearl barley or yi yi ren. It's usually hanging out near the dried herbs, looking all mysterious. Pro tip: buy it in bulk online because your local store might think you're pranking them if you ask for Jobs tiers. Cook up a big batch on Sunday, and you've got Tang Dynasty breakfast sorted for the week. Throw in some cinnamon and honey if you need to trick your taste buds into thinking it's oatmeal. The texture takes some getting used to. It's chewier than rice, but not as aggressive as wheat berries. The first time I made it, I undercooked it and felt like I was eating aquarium gravel. Give it a full hour on low heat, trust me. The Tang scholars probably had servants cooking this all morning while they did poetry or whatever smart people did back then. Number 8 takes us to black sesame seeds. Tang folks swore these seeds would keep your hair dark and help you live longer. Archaeologists digging around Turpin found people were so obsessed with sesame they stuffed their pillows with it. That's commitment. Jump to 2025 and we've got hard data. A massive review of 10 studies on diabetics found sesame supplements dropped triglycerides by 20 points and bad cholesterol by 9. The secret sauce is lignans, specifically sesamin and sesamolin. They flip switches in your liver that make it burn fat like a furnace. But wait, it gets better. Those hair-darkening claims the Tang people made? Not completely bonkers. Studies show sesame significantly boosts copper levels in your blood. Copper feeds an enzyme called tyrosinase, which literally makes the pigment in your hair. So Grandma's advice about eating sesame for gray hair, she was onto something. 2 tablespoons of toasted seeds or a big spoonful of tahini hits the clinical dose. Tang bakers mixed it into these fried dough balls called jiandui that you can still buy at dim sum. Sometimes the best medicine comes deep fried. The move here is buying black sesame paste, not just the seeds. Asian stores sell it near the peanut butter, and it's basically tahini's cooler cousin. Mix it into your morning oats, blend it in smoothies, or just eat it off a spoon like a weirdo. No judgment. You can also make black sesame lattes that'll have people asking what boutique coffee shop you hit. Just don't tell them it's medicine from the year 700. Warning though, this stuff stains everything. I spilled some on my white shirt once, and it looked like I got attacked by a squid. The Tang people probably wore black robes for a reason. Also, check your teeth after eating it. Nothing ruins your sophisticated health food vibe like looking like you've been chewing charcoal. Number 7 is Chinese jujube, also known as red dates, not the kind of dates you're thinking of. These are different. The Lingwu variety has been grown for 1,300 years straight. Tang Dynasty nobles literally sent wagon loads of these things traveling 1,000 kilometers to the capital as tribute. That's like shipping apples from Seattle to San Diego by horse. In 2024, research showed eating 3 to 5 jujubes daily improves your sleep quality and dials down inflammation. They're packed with compounds that work on the same brain receptors as Xanax, but without making you forget where you parked your car. Plus, they've got 3 times more vitamin C than oranges. Your immune system will thank you. Tang cooks made tea by simmering dried jujubes with goji berries and fresh ginger. The same recipe knocks you out better than scrolling TikTok until 3 a.m. Nature's NyQuil without the weird dreams. Fresh jujubes taste like tiny apples, but the dried ones are where the medicine lives. They get sweeter and more concentrated, like nature's candy that actually helps you sleep. Asian markets sell them in big bags for cheap. Soak them in hot water for 10 minutes before eating if your teeth can't handle the chewiness. Or throw them in your Instant Pot with chicken soup. The Tang aristocrats were basically eating melatonin gummies before melatonin was discovered. My Korean friend's grandma makes this killer jujube tea. She stuffs whole jujubes with pine nuts and honey, then simmers them for hours. Claims it cured her insomnia better than any pill. I tried it and slept for 10 hours straight. Woke up feeling like I time traveled. The Tang nobles were definitely onto something. Coming in at number 6, we've got lotus seeds. These puppies showed up in fancy Tang palace desserts. Archaeologists literally found candy-coated ones in rich people's tombs near Xi'an. Talk about taking it with you. A 2023 study had people taking 300 milligrams of lotus seed extract daily. They fell asleep faster, and their natural melatonin levels went up. The seeds are loaded with alkaloids, especially one called nephrine, that fights inflammation and stops sugar from gunking up your blood vessels. You know how rust messes up metal? Sugar does that to your arteries. These seeds help prevent it. Traditional serving is 40 dried seeds boiled for 40 minutes. You get 2 grams of protein plus all those protective compounds. Tang chefs stuffed them in mooncakes, which suddenly makes those hockey puck pastries seem almost healthy. Almost. Here's a secret. Fresh lotus seeds are incredible if you can find them. They taste like a cross between chestnuts and corn, way better than the dried ones. Some fancy Asian grocers sell them pre-peeled in season. But dried works fine for the health benefits. Just remember to pop out the bitter green germ in the middle, unless you enjoy suffering. The Tang Palace chefs definitely had servants doing this part. I learned this the hard way at a wedding where they served lotus seed soup. Bit into one with the germ still in, and my face imploded. The aunties laughed at me for like 5 minutes. Turns out everyone knows to remove it except clueless Americans. Lesson learned. The bitter part supposedly has its own benefits, but life's too short to eat things that taste like regret. Number 5 brings the mushroom game with reishi. They called it the immortality fungus, which is a metal name for a mushroom. Empress Wu was so obsessed, she had reishi symbols painted all over her palace gates. The mushroom was rarer than a PS5 at launch, so they'd float tiny dried pieces in ceremonial wine like the world's most expensive garnish. Fast forward to 2025, and studies show taking 1.5 to 3 grams of reishi extract daily drops your BMI, blood pressure, and basically every marker of aging. The mushroom is packed with beta-glucans that wake up your immune system and compounds called triterpenes that calm inflammation. Arthritis sufferers, take notes. Tang doctors brewed reishi with those jujubes we talked about plus licorice root. Modern extraction needs both water and alcohol to pull out all the good stuff. It's like the Tang Dynasty invented the chill pill, except it actually works and doesn't make you drowsy. Your local coffee shop could never. Real talk. Reishi tastes like tree bark, soaked in bitterness. The Tang folks mixed it with sweet stuff for a reason. These days, you can buy reishi powder that's been dual extracted, so you don't have to gnaw on wood. Mix it into hot chocolate or coffee where the bitterness actually works. Or just buy the capsules and skip the taste adventure entirely. Tang royalty would probably do the same if they had gel caps. Number 4. Astragalus root. Tang medical books filed this under their VIP tonics for building righteous QE and protecting against plagues. Sounds like something we could have used in 2020. Their docs gave it to kids bouncing back from spring sickness. Meta-analyses from 2024 prove astragalus compounds help cancer patients' immune systems during chemo and prevent that awful nerve pain in hands and feet. Athletes popping 4 grams daily for 6 weeks had less inflammation and got over colds faster. You need 15 to 30 grams of root boiled into tea, or 500 milligrams of the concentrated stuff with at least 70% polysaccharides. Tang doctors prescribed the exact same amounts. Either they were psychic, or we haven't gotten much smarter in 1,000 years. My money's on the second option. Astragalus looks like tongue depressors and tastes slightly sweet, nothing scary. Chinese grandmas throw it in soup like bay leaves. You can find the dried slices at herbal shops or order them online. Just fish them out before serving unless you want to explain why there's wood in the chicken soup. The extract powder is easier, but costs more. Tang Dynasty convenience tax still applies apparently. Number 3. Asian ginseng. This root was so valuable that only the emperor could legally harvest wild plants. Everyone else got the death penalty for picking vegetables. That's how you know it's good. Tang students stewed it with chicken while studying for their version of the SATs. There's this old Tang story about 2 runners where the guy chewing ginseng could run 5 li without breaking a sweat while his buddy was dying after one. Basically, ancient pre-workouts that actually worked. In 2025, Scientists did a proper double-blind trial with fancy hydroponic red ginseng packing 200 milligrams of ginsenosides daily. After 8 weeks, people had better memory, less stress, and their brain waves looked healthier on scans. The compounds boost something called BDNF, which is like Miracle-Gro for brain cells, and balance your stress hormones. Clinical doses run 1 to 2 grams of root or 100 to 400 milligrams of standardized extract. Tang recipes called for about 3 grams per serving. They were already in the sweet spot without any lab equipment. Respect. Wild ginseng costs more than your car payment now. The cultivated stuff works fine, according to studies. But try telling that to rich collectors dropping 50 grand on a single root. The Tang Emperor probably spent less on his whole medicine cabinet than what people pay for one gnarly-looking root today. Number 2 is green tea. I know, basic, but hear me out. Tang tea master Lu Yu wrote that it could fix your thirst, wake you up, and clear your head. Soldiers chugged powdered brick tea mixed with salt, which is basically matcha with electrolytes. These guys were way ahead of the curve. Studies show compounds called catechins, especially one called EGCG, flip metabolic switches that melt belly fat and drop bad cholesterol. A 2024 trial on guys with early prostate cancer found concentrated green tea extract literally slowed the disease. Brain scans show it lights up connections between different brain regions after just 1 cup. 3 cups a day gets you 250 milligrams of catechins, which is what most studies use. Lu Yu recommended 3 infusions daily. Dude was dialed in without a single peer-reviewed paper. And finally, number 1, Goji berries. Tang Dynasty ladies at court drank Goji tea for bright eyes and glowing skin, while government officials shipped baskets of these little red gems from way out west as tribute. Talk about a superfood flex. These berries are absolutely loaded with compounds that jack up your antioxidant levels and turbocharge your immune system. The zeaxanthin protects your eyeballs from screens, though Tang folks didn't know they'd need that. Daily doses help control blood sugar in diabetics, and 2024 research found they boost skin collagen after 2 months. Forget Botox, eat berries. The dose that works is 20 to 30 grams of dried berries or about a quarter cup of juice daily. That's basically what Tang herbalists prescribed for liver health. They didn't know about polysaccharides or retinal protection, but they knew what worked. Sometimes you don't need a lab to figure out the obvious. Look, here's the deal. 10 superfoods that survived from the Tang Dynasty to your local Asian grocery, now backed by actual science with randomized trials and fancy machines. The Tang royalty didn't have peer-reviewed journals or double-blind studies. They had centuries of people eating stuff and taking notes about what happened. Their whole thing was treating your kitchen like a pharmacy. And honestly, none of this is complicated. Brew green tea instead of your 4th coffee. Throw black sesame paste in your smoothie. Cook up some kwa instead of rice. Snack on goji berries while you binge Netflix. Simmer some reishi and jujubes for your nightcap. Make mung bean soup when it's hot out. These aren't weird ingredients anymore. They're at every decent Asian market, and half of them are on Amazon. Here's the real kicker. We spend billions on healthcare, pop pills with side effects longer than this script, and stress about the latest superfood trends. Meanwhile, the Tang Dynasty solved half our health problems with grocery store items. They didn't need Instagram wellness influencers or subscription supplement services. Just regular foods, eaten regularly, doing extraordinary things. Next time you're at the Asian market, don't just grab your soy sauce and bounce. Wander down those aisles with the handwritten signs. Pick up something that looks weird. Ask the grandma shopping next to you how to cook it. She probably has a recipe from her grandma, who got it from her grandma, going back to when the Tang Dynasty was still a thing. Because here's what those ancient food scientists understood. The best medicine doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a bowl. The pharmacy of the future might just be the international foods aisle. And the prescription? Eat like an emperor from 700 CE. Your body will thank you. Your wallet will thank you. And somewhere, a Tang Dynasty physician is nodding approvingly at your shopping cart. The Tang Dynasty figured out that food is medicine over a millennium ago. Now we've got the studies to prove they were right. While we're out here popping supplements and chasing the latest wellness trends, the answer's been sitting on grocery store shelves the whole time. Their medicine cabinet is still open for business. No prescription required. The best pharmacy might just be the international aisle at your local supermarket. Who would have thought?